Hi there, welcome back to the Cordless Vacuum Guide, and in this review, we'll be looking at the DreamyBot W10 Self-Cleaning Robot Vacuum and Mop Hybrid. This model is Dreamy's latest product after the self-emptying Z10 Pro robot vacuum. The W10 is classified as a self-cleaning robot mop. It's similar to the Narwhal T10, but with improved vacuuming performance thanks to the wide brush roll at the front. Self-cleaning robot mops are relatively new to the industry, and the biggest selling points of these products is the hands-free convenience of not having to wash the pads since it does the task for you. These are different from a traditional robot mop in that these have two spinning pads, helping it clean stains more efficiently. Unlike regular robot mops with the water tank inside the robot, self-cleaning robots have it inside this massive base station. It has not one, but two tanks for storing clean and dirty water. The base station primes the pad before the run, so depending on what option you select on the app, you can use it for damp to wet mopping. Placing the tanks on the base station instead of inside the robot makes it possible to increase the volume, thus decreasing the frequency of top-ups. But one feature separating self-cleaning robots from the traditional robot mop is it cleans the pads for you. After docking, it goes through a clean and rinse cycle where the pad spins against a ribbed contraption to dislodge dirt. Dirty water is then sucked out to the dirty water tank that you need to empty once or twice a week. So the biggest question for these products is how well does the base station cleans the pads? And is it a viable replacement to a traditional mop? I've put this product through a grueling series of experiments to check how well it vacuums and mops. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it. Before going through the pros and cons, I'll quickly go through the features. As I've said earlier, the DreamyBot W10 is a robot and vacuum mop with hybrid functionality. The biggest difference between this robot and Narwhal is it can vacuum and mop simultaneously since the pads are placed at the back. There's no need to switch accessories to do a specific task. The W10 has a squarish front with a wide 7.56-inch brush roll and a 5-prong side brush similar to the Roomba S9 Plus. I like this combination since it makes debris pickup efficient, especially along the edges. It uses the same combo brush as the Roborock S5 Max, only wider. Behind the primary brush are two rotary pads that spin rapidly, helping it clean stains better than a traditional robot mop. It has a similar top-mounted dustbin to other Dream robots, but with a smaller capacity of 450 milliliters. Please note that the W10 does not have a self-cleaning feature, so you'll have to empty it manually. I've already talked about the twin water tank system earlier, so let's move on to the things I like. The biggest pro for me is its vacuuming performance, which is in the high-end territory, especially on hard floors. One reason is the high airflow, maxing out at 17.91 CFM. Another is the wide brush roll and efficient navigation. It picked up an average of 99.5% in the Sanon hard floor test, one of the best scores for robot vacuums, and one of my barometers for hard floor performance. You can see the efficient pickup here on the coverage test, where it nearly got everything after the first pass. What's more impressive for me is how much it picks up at the edges, not only during the coverage test, but also during the edge cleaning test. It's not as good on carpet, but much better than the Narwhal T10 that didn't have a motorized brush. Deep cleaning is decent at 77.95%, but a notch below other high airflow robots like the Roomba S9 Plus and 980. However, I'd consider these results a plus for a mop-biased robot since you can use this robot for daily vacuuming tasks on carpet. I also like how it was efficient at mopping stains, needing a single pass to clean most of this large mess. The app also provides users more control with self-cleaning efficiency, either by area size or zone. The area size is my preference since it allows consumers to specify a specific area size. After crossing that threshold, it goes back to the base station for a pad cleaning session before continuing the run. If you need to mop dirtier areas, it's a helpful feature keeping the pads clean. The twin water tank system makes this product hands-free at least for mopping tasks. The 1.06 gallon capacity for each will last for at least 4 or 5 days depending on usage frequency. I like that these tanks open fully, freeing up lots of space if it needs a thorough cleaning. The large capacity 6400 mAh lithium-ion battery will run for at least 3 hours, and combined with the efficient navigation, make it a viable option inside larger homes. Its LiDAR-based navigation is another pro thanks to its efficiency. Dreamy seemed to work out the kinks with the W10 as the turns are tighter with more overlap. It goes around once by default, but the 2-pass run is available through the selective room cleaning or zone cleaning feature. Using the 2-pass run also unlocks the crisscross pattern, which is helpful in mopping tasks, ensuring that the pads get all the grime and dirt. Also, the W10 doesn't need a base station to run. You can leave the base station on another level and move this robot to another location if you need to vacuum. This is where the multi-level map feature comes in handy. Lastly, I like the app functionality. All Dream Robot vacuums use the Xiaomi Home app, which in my opinion is one of the best in the industry with stability and features. The W10 app has most of the features you'd want from a robot vacuum. It has a live map where you can check the robot's location in real time. It can also save multiple maps. I'm not sure how many, but I saved 2 maps during my test, and it still has the option for another. So that's a minimum of 3. Another feature I like is the exploratory feature. Dreamy calls this fast mapping, and it's a quick way to create a map. Instead of going through every nook and cranny, the robot takes advantage of LiDAR's 360-degree scanning to create the map in a fraction of the time versus a complete run. Dreamy was not the first to have this feature, but it's the most efficient. Containment is available primarily through invisible walls and no-go zones. And if you've watched any of my robot vacuum reviews, it's one of my favorite features for smart robot vacuums. It helps consumers block areas in their homes without using a physical barrier, which is a huge time saver. The app is quite accurate at creating partitions when doors are present. Nonetheless, it still provides a way to create or merge zones manually. A room naming feature is also available, but you cannot use custom names, which is somewhat disappointing. Scheduling is also available, but I feel it lacks customization options. You can only set the time, room, and frequency, but that's it. This product isn't perfect, and I'll quickly go through some issues you may encounter with it. And the first issue is the limitations to what it can mop. I've seen the advertorials, and I noticed the W10 mopping a wet spill at one point. I tried it, and while it's possible, it's not something I'd recommend, especially juices. The W10 relies on the pads to absorb water, but not suck it in a water tank, like a floor washing robot. So it merely spreads the liquid over a larger area. It will leave a sticky surface if it's something with sugar content. Also, it'll create a mess on the brush guard and side brush, which you'll need to clean eventually. The same limitation applies to stains. I wouldn't recommend this on any food-based stain, especially juices, as it will leave a sticky residue on the surface. Running it a second and third time will help, but it won't clean the residue completely. Here's a before and after shot of the pads clean and after several mopping cycles. Streaks are another issue with the W10 or any robot mop. If this is a concern, or if you have a dark tile, it's not something I'd recommend. Also, you cannot remove the cloth on the pads. It seems to be sewed on if you look at these seams. So if it wears out, you'll need to buy the whole pad assembly, which could be costlier. Since it lacks a self-emptying feature, you'll need to empty the dustbin manually. If it's inside the base station, you'll need to pull it out first to dispose its contents. This robot vacuum can be noisy, especially in the highest setting, where it maxed out at 70.3 decibels. The good news is it's not noisy in the other 3 settings, ranging between 59 and 60.9 decibels. Lastly, this product is expensive. It's as expensive as other premium self-emptying robot vacuums, but it does come with a self-cleaning feature, so it's essentially buying 2 products in one. To conclude this review, the DreamyBot W10 is an excellent robot vacuum and mop hybrid, capable of doing both tasks at a high level. Its excellent vacuuming performance was a pleasant surprise. You could use this product to vacuum your home, and it does it efficiently. The mopping performance is also excellent with the twin rotating pads, but there are limitations to what it can mop. If you don't mind the bulky base and the premium cost, consider the DreamyBot W10 self-cleaning robot vacuum and mop. If you've made it this far, I'd like to say thank you and consider giving this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful to you. Like and hit the bell icon to get notified when I publish new reviews like this. Links are in the description for more information. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.